There's a very important topic I need to show you in the rendering section. Normally, the progressive part is a fast rendering system, which ensures that the rendering on the screen is quick. Guys, so it's an effect made to see the impact quickly, to see it fast. Normally, I want to think about this resolution. Let my resolution be 1280 by 720. Here, let my quality be medium, plus, not height. And look here. There's the motor section. It says engine, guys. Normally, I was working through the CPU. There's also the GPU section. When you activate the CPU and GPU together, it actually allows both to work together, which makes the working principle of what we call progressive fast rendering faster. Look, I've selected the GPU. My 3-dot indicator has appeared here. I'm clicking on 10. Give me the GPU. One more time. I selected this GeForce graphics card. Let it be statistical, friends, the progressive part, active, medium, and not progressive. Now we will see the difference between progressive and normal rendering. I press the render button. Look, friends, now. There's an important part here. I might get a setting that asks what I should take for the last render, or how I should take it at some moments. Look, there's a process starting with progressive rendering here, where the graphics card and CPU are working together. Now look here, the render pass image is continuing at 176. It's going on, and at some point it will finish the render. And that will be the end. Look, it's continuing here, the passes are going on, the graphics card and CPU are starting. The clarity duration here increased, and the moment I lowered the resolution and pulled back the settings, the time suddenly started to speed up. So suddenly, look, the pass time started to speed up, and it's trying to finish the render. And having a low resolution, it gives me an advantage. When taking a render, having a low resolution is sufficient in render tests. So, a resolution of 1280x720 is sufficient for you to see everything on your screen. Friends, that's why I made a setting like this, and I'm waiting for this render to finish in the render pass. There's a part I want to show you. And this part is what we call the render pass, friends. So the progressive part, look, the progressive part allows me to see the light distribution and the render on my screen. Look, normally it finishes, that's why it will be open. A system that removes stains. Look, Dennis, I want you to take a look at the closed one right now. Look at the white. I'm going to open the C. Do you see it? How clear is it, friends? It opens automatically. It comes on at 7. In other versions, you need to turn it on yourself. Look, now, I activated it and I saw the shading of the light. The light doesn't look bad right now, so it doesn't actually look bad. And that's the purpose of progressive. I need to see it quickly. Look, what happens when I turn off the progressive? Let's see. Let's do it, friends. When I turn this off, a settings section appears here. Right now, this isn't important. I turned off the progressive and pressed the render button. Friends, now let's see what will happen. Look, the render has started on the screen. When the render starts, our buckets. Our render boxes represented by the bucket type, which symbolize the processor and the graphics card, have started rendering. This means a deeper processing process. Friends, this graphics card symbolizes the big buckets, while the small buckets represent the processor. Your graphics card and processor. The stronger it is, the more boxes you'll have here, and the render will finish that much faster. Friends, when we last took the render, we turned off the progressive here. We will continue by taking a normal bucket type render. Friends, that's why I wanted to show this part. It's an important section. Look, the render is continuing, and there's a deeper processing happening here, friends. Look at this. Large squares, the graphics card, the image is coming in. The processor is bringing in the image in the small squares. The stronger your system is, friends, the faster and clearer your rendering will be. This is really a taboo in Vray. The stronger your graphics card and processor are, the faster your rendering will be. Friends, let's take a look at our render again when it's finished. I'm stopping it right now. The recording time. I'll reopen it when the rendering is finished, friends. Yes, as you can see, our rendering is finished, friends. The clarity here might not be visible during the recording, but this is our normal bucket render, meaning the progressive rendering is turned off. More clear, more active, friends. Of course, we will also make adjustments here, but I wanted to show the difference in between. This is really an important difference. Friends, we'll do these last parts, but our render test is the thing we need to know right now. In the render test, 1280x720 can be an even lower resolution